Hi, I'm Jay Carver, and welcome to the Deathwalk. Since yesterday was Friday the 13th, I decided to rank all 12 Friday the 13th films. But first, I want to show you how it all started. So, Friday the 13th was directed by Sean S. Cunningham. So, Sean and Wes Craven, the man behind Scream, made a somewhat successful horror film called Last House on the Left. So, after that, the two had a reputation for making real disgusting and cheap schlock. But after that, Sean made some kids' family films, like a Bad Bears ripoff called Here Comes the Tiger. Victor Miller, a writer who worked with Sean, noticed how everybody in America wanted a family film, but actually America wanted to see slashers, particularly Halloween, which was a pioneer in the genre. Sean and Miller were thinking of titles, and one that came to their head was Friday the 13th. And so they knew the keys to make a good slasher film. So first you needed young adults slash teens trapped in an environment where adults couldn't help them, and they decided the best setting was a summer camp.
Listen, it was Jason. I saw that movie 20 goddamn times.
Then you should know Jason's mother, Mrs. Voorhees, was the original killer. Jason didn't show up until the sequel. I'm afraid that was a wrong answer.
As most people continue to believe that the film's killer is Jason, when it really is his mother, Pamela Voorhees. Not even to mention that the iconic hockey mask isn't even worn in the first time we see Jason. And these odd delays are not helped by the fact that the characters can be stiff and boring, and it does ignore what previously happens. And because of that, I have to admit that it isn't my favorite franchise. And a lot of people might disagree with me by that. I mean, I never could make something like it, so I do appreciate the art and effort, and I do think it is a lovable icon in this hockey mask. And I appreciate all of them. I think it is a work of art. But except Jason Takes Manhattan, the Big Apple isn't the best place for my hockey mask killer, but it is the best place to start our countdown. Jason Takes Manhattan misses the boat. Well, not entirely. Most of the film takes place on a boat and hardly features Manhattan. It misses the boat because despite being billed as a horror comedy, it doesn't provoke many laughs. Next on the list is Jason Goes to Hell. This has to be one of the weirdest horror sequels I've ever seen. The idea that Jason has a sister we have never heard of until this point really just ruins the franchise. If they have discussed Jason's sister earlier in the film series, this wouldn't bother me as much. Next on the list is Friday the 13th, A New Beginning. This film almost took the last spot, but I recently watched it again and my opinion of it improved. It is sort of cool seeing someone else take the role of Jason. The idea of a person trying to avenge a dead killer is partially scary, but I'd still fix the casting. The new characters are much boring than the originals. Even the fantastic performance of the Lost Boys Corey Feldman could save this one. I will say the character I enjoyed the most in this movie is Demon.
I feel a lot better when I'm out of here. This shit box is gross.
I also love seeing Miguel Nunez Jr. in this role because I love seeing him as DJ in the 1994 Street Fighter film. But not even adding Nunez can turn this film into a total KO. Next on the list is A New Blood. The final girl and most of the other main characters are annoying and really frustrate me, but the fact that Jason's costume is cool and the element of telekinesis in this Carrie-style slasher sequel is what made me feel like this film better. Next, we have the 2009 remake. This one is surprisingly good for a remake. Michael Bay is great at combining action and horror, but the fact that it skips a lot of what happens, for an example, Jason's mom's role, means it fails to appreciate what originally happened. Next, we have the Friday the 13th Part 3. This one is the first we see of Jason with his hockey mask, so that's why I appreciate a lot more than others. The thing I don't love, as most people on the internet, is the Higgins Haven setting. Now we have Jason X. This one is so ridiculous and very corny, but it's one of those films that's so bad it's great. The Jason costume is super cool, and the space effects actually aren't as bad compared to other ones like Leprechaun 4 in Space. Now we have Friday the 13th, the original. This one might deserve more credit than I'm giving it, but don't get me wrong, I love seeing Kevin Bacon and Harry Crosby in their early careers. And of course, I love Introduction to Camp Crystal Lake. But this film is pretty slow, and so are the kills. The audio and dialogue is tough to follow, and it did launch an incredible franchise, and so that's why it does earn higher points on this list. Next, we have Friday the 13th Part 2. I like this film because it picks up where the prequel left off, which I appreciate, and I also found the original sack mask to be pretty creepy.
That he'll continue to seek if anyone ever enters his wilderness again.
Next, we have Jason Lives. This one is actually quite good, but it's not worthy of first place. I like when a classic story gets a new twist. Jason Lives reinvents the classic horror story Frankenstein. It has some of the coolest looking Jason costume. This one also mixes humor, which makes it a great, unique horror sequel. In number 2, we have Freddy vs. Jason. This is the ultimate crossover of two classic killers. Directed by Ronnie Yu, also the director of Bride of Chucky, is a fun all-time classic in the horror genre. Dance Party, we made it to the top film in the franchise. And no, it's not because of Crispin Glover's incredible moves. It's my personal favorite right now anyway. Though a lot of my fans might disagree, it's Friday the 13th, the final chapter. Tom Savini's effects in this film are great. The gore is well done, and Jason's costume is super cool, which makes it a great conclusion to the franchise. Thanks for watching this video. I will be back with you with more horror movie reviews, and remember to subscribe to Jay's World.
I know what you're waiting for. I should try.